This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Hey, good morning. Welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason here in the podcast center. Welcome on to the breakdown here on your Thursday. Enjoy your Thursday. Really quite a bit here for the day today because this is one of the few days that we don't have a great chance of rain for. Overall, next few days are riddled with rain showers and storms. Even a portion of tonight is coming on with some stormy activity here in the Arklatex. So watch out for even the possibility of some storms and showers showing up here for the nighttime hours of your Thursday. But overall, we got two big systems to talk about. We'll be talking about when they're happening, but essentially they're coming one round after the other, and one is already on our doorstep here for the day today. So welcome on. I'm actually still getting my graphics together. Something got pushed back and didn't allow me to show up on this podcast desk essentially until 2 minutes before the show. So I'm still getting kind of everything, all my graphics together. It'll take the extra 2 seconds or so. But yeah, hopefully you're all having a good day out and around the Arklatex here for you. I mean, it has been so far so good. Our radar so far this morning, just to give you a quick recap before we get into the forecast. Our forecast here for the morning has been nice and quiet here for the most part. Our nice blank sheet in throughout the entirety of Thursday, and that remains the case for the most part all the way up until now. Here in the regions, it's cloudy, but it's dry. And that's kind of the theme here for the rest of the day here for your Thursday, second to last day of the work week. I know most of you looking forward to Friday and the weekend, but unfortunately, all three of those days probably contain a greater chance for rain than today. So, again, as I said, make the most of your Thursday, especially if you have the time to do so. All right, so let's get into our rundown here for the First Alert with a breakdown. So, again, we're checking up on the rain. That's the main part of the forecast here. Looks like we'll finally settle in with some dry conditions, but not until next week. So, a lot to go over with the rain that's expected over the next several days. Then, on top of that, we're going to go over our exclusive content here for the day today, which is taking a look at the fire weather, which, if you remember last week, I know this almost seems like a long time ago with how much we've been dealing with rain lately, but we did have some issues with some wildfires in the Arklatex last week. There are even still a few burn bans in effect currently at this moment. We'll go over that as well. But we're going to take a look at our fire weather risk, especially with the rain showers that have been happening recently around the Arklatex. So we're just going to kind of tackle and kind of update you on the lack of fire weather potential, which is good. I know when no news is good news, and we haven't really spoken too much about this during our weather segments or during news anymore with the wildfires that we had last week. But we're going to kind of update you on how that situation has been, how it's unfolded, and how it has, most importantly, improved around here, which is great. Rain means good. We are fixing the fire weather issues. Unfortunately, yes, it is rain. That can spoil some of your outdoor plans, especially for the weekend. Yeah, looking at the Barksdale Air Force Air Show this coming Saturday and Sunday, which we will be live at. KSLA News 12 will be live at. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic. Thankfully, I will say the rain is looking to do its best to go around the air show. Okay? We'll get into the specifics in that in just a little bit. All right, so let's get into the forecast, shall we? Live look on our Matthews Landscape NPest camera outdoors. Again, it is a cloudy but dry day today. There's still some sunshine peeking on through. I see some blue sky in there. But if you look on the camera in particular, you will definitely see mostly cloudy skies. And that's going to rain on for the rest of the day today. If anything, I think we get more cloudy in for this afternoon. We're continuing to feel a good amount of humidity, which is kept us warm here, warmer a little bit this morning. To a certain degree, and it's actually trying to warm up our temperatures in for the afternoon, but the cloud cover is limiting how much sunlight we get to actually provide a hot day, so to speak. Most of our highs get into the lower 80s, so certainly warmer than yesterday with winds coming out of the south, but since that sunlight is not there as much, it shouldn't be a hammered down hot day like we had this past Tuesday. You remember that? 90 degrees 2 days ago? Thankfully, that will not be happening this afternoon. And yes, I'm saying thankfully that will not be happening. I know. We're running into summer. We will get plenty of chances to get into the triple digits again later on in the next couple of months. All right, so let's gain control of our graphics here and look across other areas of the region. Window World Sky Camera in Texarkana. This is where you'll probably find a little more sunshine, a little more blue skies filtering on through. You can kind of see that a little bit off to the left side of the camera there, which I believe is the west side of Texarkana. I know this camera actually kind of looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, not really on Texarkana, but I promise you, this is in Texarkana itself. Just like outlooking the beautiful sunshine still peeking on through in areas there. So let's get into our temperatures here so far. 72 in Shreveport, 71 for Texarkana, 73 in Mansfield, 73 in Natchitoches, and this is a humid 72 degrees in Shreveport. This is humid conditions all the way around. The Arklatex, which is probably building a little more weight to our temperature, so to speak, so making us feel a little more muggy and a little more hot outside, honestly, to be quite frank with you, in the Arklatex. So here is a look at our current radar. We're gonna go into detail as to what happens from here in just a little bit. Before the moment, everything is clear here locally. If you do notice, yes, there is some rain on the very southern edge of the region here right now. In areas just south of Nacogdoches, south of Lufkin here for now. Most of that contains light to moderate rainfall coverage. That's looking to move northward here in the next couple of hours. But I will say it is a very slow-moving system. Our premium satellite, which kind of overlooks everywhere, is kind of showing you the extent to the rain. And yeah, this is covering a good portion of southeast Texas, with more heavy at moderate rainfall right now on the very southern end of Texas near Brownsville and Corpus Christi at this hour. All right, so let's look at the rain. Now, let's look at the headlines and see what these conditions mean for our long-term forecast here. Again, we are warm today. You can already tell by temperatures peaking above 70 degrees, and it's not even really lunchtime yet. Lunchtime coming in the next hour or two. But we'll have some warmer temperatures in store for this afternoon. I think highs will peak above 80 degrees for a good portion of the region. Not for everybody, though. We'll say that. Watch out for that. Meanwhile, we do have rain back in the Arklatex. That will be coming into the region here for tonight. Watch your back here in the Arklatex here for some of the rain chances tonight. Now, if it does hit, most of it will be light. As you saw that rain coverage in areas south of Nacogdoches, most of that rain coverage is thankfully not looking too heavy and not looking to contain a big chance of severe weather. But we do have scattered storms on Friday and Sunday. If you do not get rain from tonight, which most of us I don't think will, still a good portion of us will, especially in the southern half of the Arklatex, but everybody is going to be getting rain, most likely here from the day tomorrow. And we got another round of scattered storms looking to target us on Sunday. Before I actually continue in the rest of this forecast, I want to give a quick shout out on YouTube to Weather Psychic. He says he got your back when this weather passes through the 318. Appreciate it, man. Again, if you want to leave a comment or a question on this live stream, feel free to leave it in the live chat on our YouTube. You just go to youtube.com, search up KSLA News 12, and you can see the same stream that you're watching on KSLA.com or on our live stream, and you can type in a live comment, and it kind of makes it a little more interactable with you and me, so to speak. Anyways, rest of the forecast for those of you eating popcorn, snack of choice, munching, and watching me for the forecast here in the Arklatex over the next couple of days. Anyways, temperatures for this afternoon. Again, certainly getting warmer, but for the northern half of the Arklatex, this is a very peculiar map, I will say here. And actually, I'm going to remove myself out of the equation here, me and my face, that is, to let you see the full picture here around the region. We have temperatures ranging up into the lower, I believe, into the lower 80s for most of us, either at or above the I-20 corridor. Once you get south of I-20, though, that's when you reach cooler temperatures that only reach around 70 degrees. High temperatures in the afternoon reaching the lower 70s only later today. So pretty much having temperatures stuck where they are continuously through the afternoon for the most part. And most of that is because we have the dense cloud cover returning. You remember yesterday where we had the rain across portions of the northern half of the Arklatex that kept the northern half of the Arklatex cooler? Well, guess what? We've kind of flip-flopped that forecast. The northern half of the Arklatex, including areas around Shreveport and areas along I-20, are essentially getting warmer. But for those around Nacogdoches Center, Mansfield, and Natchitoches, those areas are getting colder here for this afternoon. So quite a peculiar forecast in that manner to where I know I just told you it gets warmer here for the day today, but that's mostly for Shreveport. Man, for areas south of I-20, you're actually hanging around with colder temperatures, believe it or not, this afternoon. Then, getting into the Arklatex, back into our forecast here for tomorrow morning, temperatures only getting down to the 60s. You woke up to temperatures mostly in the upper 50s, lower 60s, so if anything, maybe warming up our morning temperatures even more for tomorrow morning. But it's going to be a completely saturated atmosphere, which eventually leads us to rain tomorrow. We'll talk about that coming on up. But essentially, the rain and the dense cloud cover is going to keep us from warming up. We have a big cool down coming tomorrow for the entire Arklatex. Most of us are going to struggle to reach 70 degrees. It is going to be a cool, rainy day in for us here throughout Friday. Then heading into Saturday, that's when we warm back on up. Highs will be peaking right again above 80 degrees, back like we never left it. And that's going to be in store for both days of the weekend. Now, let's get into the rain. There's a lot to get to. First, this next system, which is hitting us, a corner of it is hitting us tonight, but the bulk of this system is going to be hitting us tomorrow. And it's going to be hitting us tomorrow throughout the entirety of the day. I'm expecting scattered storms tomorrow morning. I'm expecting still the presence of scattered storms tomorrow night. Yeah, this is going to be something that lasts throughout the day on Friday. I'm not looking for a consistent, complete blanket of rain showers throughout the day. I'm just looking at showers happening off and on that you're going to have to stay weather aware about throughout the entire day in for Friday. Some thunderstorms could be embedded with this system as well, although we'll get to the severe weather potential here in just a moment. But most of it is just looking to be light to moderate rainfall here at best. We'll take a look at more of a in-depth look at that in the future track. This is the short-term future track here. We actually have a long-term future track to go over here in just a moment. We have light rain, again, expected here tonight in the southern half of the Arklatex. That's going to continue to move northward slowly but surely. And eventually for tomorrow morning, it looks like the bulk of the rain will be in the northern half of the Arklatex. For those of you waking up on your Friday morning looking to get out to work and school. So watch out for the rain, especially for those of you along I-30. Then we will continue to get bands of rain showers working back in here, especially in for tomorrow afternoon. And notice the shades of orange and red, which indicate greater rainfall amounts and also thunderstorms rolling on throughout the region here for your Friday. Some of this even continues into Saturday early morning across the eastern half of the region. Then I want to go over the longer term future track here because, again, yes, we do have the rain coming through here for tomorrow, but then as soon as that leaves Saturday early morning, we have another system coming right back into the region here just in time for Sunday in the Arklatex. Now, what I will say about this system is this is looking to give us a greater chance of severe weather around here. Now, I will say another thing. This is one long-range future track. There are several future tracks, period. A few of which we have access to, a few of which we do not have access to, but we have access to outside of the graphics system within KSLA News 12. Hopefully that makes sense. The point is, there are several various weather models that help us give us good ideas as to what exactly is going to happen. And usually when the weather models disagree with one another, it means we're unsure if whether something is going to happen or not. Whether one of the weather models stands true exactly, because somebody's got to be wrong if, one weather model is off from the others. Essentially what I'm trying to get at here is there are other weather models that show this rain that forms on top of the Arklatex on this future track. It shows the rain forming just off to our east in another future track or two. So we're going to keep you first alert about this system, but we are uncertain whether or not this rain on Sunday is actually going to hit us or not. If it does, though, this is giving us a good chance of severe weather. I will say that. Anything is likely on the table, even the chance for tornadoes, unfortunately, as well. With that system that comes through on Sunday. Again, I want to stress that is if it does happen. We'll keep you first alert in the time ahead, and we always get more certainty on these certain events the closer we get to the time. So hopefully on this episode tomorrow, we'll have a better idea as to whether or not it happens. So, to give you a couple details about the rain on both Friday and Sunday. For Friday, it's only a slim chance of severe weather. Most of that's for the southern half of the Arklatex, only a marginal risk out there, which basically means a chance for severe weather, yes, which could include anything from hail to strong winds, to, yes, maybe even the tiny chance of a tornado or two, but overall, not expecting anything out of it severe weather-wise here for the most part. Then you get into Sunday, and that system, again, still plenty of uncertainty, as I said, but if it does happen, severe weather will likely be forming off of it. So, yes, we're expecting severe storms to form if they do form. Again, I keep mentioning that point time in, time again, but essentially, the severe weather risk map is huge, but includes the Arklatex here for the day on Sunday. So for your weekend forecast, yes, both days are filled with rain, but don't cancel your weekend plans. You got to be aware of when the rain is coming each and every day. For Saturday, first of all, notice that its rain chance is less than 50% chance, which means most of us aren't going to see rain on Saturday, number one. Number two, most of that rain chance is just for Saturday morning, and most of that looks to be in store just for the eastern half of the Arklatex. We're even talking east of Shreveport. I'm talking mainly out towards Minden, Natchitoches, and maybe into portions of Magnolia as well. And that's only going to be for Saturday morning. The bulk of Saturday, I think you should be fine. Sunday, most of that rain comes Sunday late afternoon into the evening hours. If you're going out to church Sunday morning, you should be fine. If you're going out to brunch Sunday around lunchtime and calling it brunch, which I do too, you should be fine. The point is the storms don't form until the late afternoon hours into the evening hours and on Sunday. So, for those of you trying to go to the air show, the Barksdale Air Force Air Show, first of all, I've heard it's fantastic. Never been, but I heard it's fantastic. I look forward to it as well. It should be fine. That runs from 9 to 4 both days. Saturday, I think the rain will be east by 9 a.m. on Saturday. I think Saturday's going to be fine. For Sunday, again, those showers and storms form in the late afternoon to evening hours, again, if they do form in the first place again. So the bulk of the air show should be fine. I think it's just that very tail end there you got to watch out for the possibility of storms. So the point in saying that is that the bulk of your Saturday and the bulk of your Sunday should be fine. Still, it's still a weekend to stay weather aware with us. So again, 50% chance of showers. It's a 50-50 call, essentially, for storms on Sunday. Same thing's in store with another system looking to come in the middle of next week as well. 50% chance of rain on Wednesday. Looks like most of the start of next work week is going to be pretty dry. A little cooler, highs in the upper 70s. I know I'm kind of working a little backwards in the forecast here, but I want to home back in on that first chance of rain, which is going to be tomorrow. Notice how the chance of rain is greater than Sunday. Yes, we have a high confidence that it will rain here for the day tomorrow, just a smaller chance of severe weather, but not zero, certainly smaller. As for temperatures, they're again all over the place, especially over the next 3 days. Highs in the mid-80s here for today and the weekend, especially locally in Shreveport. For tomorrow, though, it will be a cool day throughout the entirety of the day. Temperatures are mostly going to be staying in the 60s all day long, cruising through that. Whew, man, long forecast, especially with a lot of rain coming up. Hopefully that answered most of your questions. If it didn't, YouTube. It's the best way to do so. I'm going to be taking a look at the fire weather risk ahead. You take a look at some of the burn bans, the drought monitor as well. If I can actually, believe it or not, I actually did not have the drought monitor in my little rundown. But thankfully, I'm going to take a look at it during this commercial break. And I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm going to do that and take a quick sip of water. And I'll be back after 2 minutes to talk about fire weather potential after this. Stick with us. Welcome on back to the first alert with a breakdown. Again, I'm meteorologist Evan Thomas. Thankfully, well, let's start with the bad news. I always like to start with the bad news and then go to the good news. The bad news has been rain showers have been kind of weaving in and out of the region. That's still standing true in our forecast here, not just over the next 4 days, but remember that we just talked about that chance of rain on Wednesday of next week. And our 12-day forecast is also riddled with rain. So, yeah, I mean, rain is just coming in and out of the region. That's also kind of putting a damper on our temperatures. And what I mean by damper is it is getting our temperatures up and down like crazy. I mean, one day it's up to 90 degrees. The next, we're hanging around with temperatures in the 60s all day long, which is tomorrow. So hopefully your sinuses are hanging in there. It is springtime. There is still lots of pollen around, especially with these rapid winds coming in and out of the region as well. It is wild overall. And then again, I hope you're hanging in there as a result. Let's get to the good news now. That's the fire weather. It's been windy, especially it was last week. And when wind was just coming through with the dry conditions, it was bad. It was bad, and it caused us a number of burn bans all across the Arklatex, some of which are still in effect, which we'll go over here in just a little bit. But thankfully, we've added some moisture and some rain to help suppress all of that fire danger around here. Now, the big things for fire weather is watching out for a couple things. First, for dry vegetation, which is almost one of the perfect times for that, because it's one of the two perfect times for it. Because number one, you're just coming off of winter. There's a lot of dormant stuff that's been frozen over, cooled down, and it's lacking life essentially. The other big time for this is after the heat of summer. Especially when it's the dry summer season here in the Arklatex. That's when we also run into some fire trouble as well. Now, that's when you run into usually areas of dry vegetation, but here in the Arklatex. Sorry, I'm looking over my monitor right now, and believe it or not, I'm so